Hey Stoic friends, welcome back to my channel. There's a voice inside you, a savage whisper clawing its way out of the wreckage, a fractured howl buried under the chaos of your daily noise. It's not polite, it doesn't wait for a moment. It rips through the silence with a question sharper than a blade. Am I enough? Not loud, but venomous. It curls around your thoughts like a viper in the dark, squeezing tighter every time you hesitate, every time you swallow the lump in your throat and accept less than the firestorm you were born to ignite. If you know this voice, the one that digs its claws into your gut when no one's watching, you're standing in a war zone of your own making, locked in battle with the cruelest enemy, your own goddamn self-worth, sold off cheap while you weren't looking. Listen, the Stoics understood something savage and true. Power isn't a trophy others hand you. It's a kingdom you build in your mind when the world tries to burn you down. Epictetus hit the nail hard. It's not what happens, but how you react. But what if your reaction is broken? What if it's corroded by acid doubt, poisoned by years of silent sabotage? What if your confidence is a house built on quicksand, every step threatening to swallow you whole? When you look in the mirror, do you see a warrior or a shadow crumpled and bruised, convinced you're not worthy of the fight? That's the real damn crime. The war waged in silence while you blink and miss it. This isn't some sugar-coated pep talk. This isn't value yourself more dressed in pretty words. No, this is a full frontal assault on every lie you've ever told yourself. We're diving deep into the twisted places where you quietly chip away your own soul, trading your fire for ashes, dimming your light until it's barely a flicker, just enough to survive but never to burn. But you were forged in a furnace. You were built to roar, to claim everything screaming inside you like a storm breaking through a dam. If you're shackled by invisible chains, weighed down by ghosts of doubt and shame, it's time to tear those chains to bloody shreds with teeth clenched and fists bleeding. We're hunting down 10 signs you're gutting yourself slowly, not with a scream, but with whispers so soft they slip past your defenses like a ghost. These aren't surface scratches. These are knife wounds in your soul, the moments when your spirit takes a hit so silent you almost miss the damage until you're bleeding out in slow motion. Some of these hits will land with the force of a sledgehammer to your gut. Others will chill you to the bone with their quiet cruelty. And if one of them makes your heart freeze, good. That means the truth is ripping through the fog you've been trapped in. When those cracks start to bleed, don't run, don't cover them up. Lean into the chaos, because that's where the real work begins. Rebuilding a fortress not out of brittle lies or borrowed confidence, but out of raw, unbreakable self-respect, forged in fire and fury. This is your resurrection, your reckoning. Before the avalanche starts, obliterate that like button like your life's hanging by a thread. Share this with every broken soul you know who needs this blow to the system. Subscribe because this isn't the end. It's the first shot fired, and don't skip a word. Every line is a jagged edge you need to feel. Stay unfiltered, stay untamed. And if the words slam into you like a freight train, roar it out loud in the comments. I am worthy beyond measure. Now, brace yourself. We're about to burn down the lies and build something that can't be broken. Now let's go, my friends. Number 1, you apologize for existing. Too often, you step into the room and instantly feel like a glitch in the universe, like you've broken the code of existence just by showing up. It's as if the air itself recoils, splintering around you, and every breath you take is a crime. The sorry escapes your mouth before your brain can even blink. A reflex, a curse, a desperate shield to keep yourself from being noticed, to keep your trembling soul invisible. But here's the savage truth. You never owed that apology. You didn't break anything. You didn't ask to be a ghost wandering through someone else's daylight. This isn't humility. It's self-obliteration. A quiet massacre of your own worth. Every time you say sorry without cause, you're dragging your own spirit through the dirt, spitting on the throne you were born to sit on. You're handing the power to others like a junkie begging for scraps, like a defeated gladiator throwing down his sword before the fight even begins. You tell the world, and worse, you whisper to your own heart that you are an accident, an intrusion, a weight too much to bear. Stoicism screams through the centuries, reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears. But you? You're apologizing for breathing, for existing, for taking up space in a world that needs your fire. You are surrendering before the battle even breaks. This mindless flood of needless apologies is a cancer eating your soul alive, turning your backbone into ash. Every sorry is a slow poison, dulling your senses, crushing your courage, chaining your wildness to a cage of doubt. You're training yourself to expect crumbs when you were meant to feast, to accept scraps when you should own the whole damn table. You become a ghost who doubts their own shadow, a phantom shrinking into silence, swallowing the rage that screams, "I deserve more." You begin to believe that you are less worthy, less powerful, less human. Stop. Tear your tongue from that habit like it's burning. Look at yourself. How often do you apologize before you even know what's wrong? That trembling sorry is a siren call from your wounded core, a desperate cry to be seen and accepted, but in the worst possible way. It's the mind's venom disguised as politeness, a lie so deep it's bleeding your soul dry. This is your war zone. Take your ground back. Burn those false apologies. Rewrite the story. You are not a burden. You are a force of nature. You are the storm the world needs. Number 2, you hide your true opinions out of fear of judgment. You slam your truth down like a bomb that never detonates, swallowed whole by the chokehold of fear. Your thoughts, your fierce electric fire, get locked in a cage built from shadows of, what if they hate me? You bite your tongue raw, suffocating under the weight of silent screams. Every word left unspoken is a jagged shard piercing your soul, a secret wound bleeding in slow motion. You shrink, fold, vanish piece by piece, like a star snuffed out before it even lights the sky. This isn't just silence, it's a soul massacre in slow motion. Seneca's words hit like a hammer to the bones. If one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable. But you tossed your compass into the fire, choosing to drift through life's storm blindfolded. Hiding your thoughts is like burying a volcanic rage deep beneath a frozen tundra, waiting to erupt, but chained tight by the toxic fear of judgment. You become a ghost on your own battlefield, fighting shadows that don't even exist outside your mind. Every silent moment is a nail hammered into your coffin of self-erasure. Fear of judgment isn't just a feeling. It's a ruthless predator wearing your face, whispering lies that your truth is too loud, too weird, too wild. It tells you to shrink, to fade, to become a faceless ghost in the crowd, to be just enough to avoid the arrows of disdain. But here's the savage secret. Your voice is a wildfire waiting to burn down forests of doubt. It's the hurricane that breaks chains and shatters cages. When you hide it, the world loses the storm it desperately needs. You're not just silencing opinions, you're burying your very essence, your unique madness that could ignite revolutions and raise kingdoms from ashes. Feel the crushing weight of words left unspoken, pressing down like 1,000 tons of regret and fear. It's suffocating. It's maddening. But this iron grip can snap. Tear down the walls you built around your voice like they're made of brittle glass. Let your words explode like thunder, a wild, untamed beast breaking free from its cage. Your voice is not a whisper in the void. It's a goddamn roar that demands to be heard. Own it. Embrace the chaos. You are not made for silence. Burn this truth into your bones. My voice deserves to shatter silence. Number 3, you consistently put others' needs before your own, to your own detriment. You're a goddamn sacrificial lamb dancing on the altar of everyone else's comfort, bleeding your own flesh dry while they feast. Every second you spend pouring your life into others is a savage theft from the only thing you should protect, like a demon guarding its treasure, yourself. This isn't kindness, it's self-cannibalism. You devour your own soul's marrow until there's nothing left but a hollow echo begging for mercy. The world doesn't see your sacrifice, it takes it for granted. And you? You keep handing over the last drops of your fire, convinced that your worth is measured by how much you vanish for others. Epictetus nailed the truth that's been smashing into your chest, ignored like a warning siren drowning in noise. No person hands out pain to another without their permission. You're not just giving permission, you're signing contracts in blood, handing the keys to your prison willingly, with a smile that hides a screaming void. Your boundaries, crumbled ruins underfoot, trampled by your own desperate need to be needed. You're a martyr masquerading as a saint, addicted to the poison of neglect disguised as love. But the truth is a beast with claws, and it's tearing at the fabric of your being every damn day. How many times have you swallowed the acid of exhaustion, the gnawing hunger for rest, the screaming hunger for your own damn life, and shoved it down so you could play the hero for someone else? You silenced the roaring inferno inside you, sealed it in a cage of "people depend on me," and swallowed your own pain like a bitter pill. But here's the black heart of it. Every time you put yourself last, you're erasing your existence. You become a ghost, a flickering candle in a room full of strangers who don't notice your light fading. You're nothing but a shadow in your own story, bleeding out in the dark. Picture this: your candle, battered by storms, the flame gasping, sputtering, begging for one damn moment to breathe, to reclaim what's been stolen. That candle is you, screaming for fuel, screaming to be seen, screaming to stop being the last thought in the world's chaos. You are fire, wild, fierce, unstoppable, but you've been drowning it in self-neglect and silent pleas for approval. It's time to snatch that fire back, to protect it with every fiber of your being and burn so bright that the world can't ignore you anymore. Seal this truth inside your bones. My needs are not optional. They are the lifeblood of my existence. Number 4, you avoid taking up space, physically, emotionally, mentally. You're not just shrinking, you're collapsing, folding in on yourself like a black hole devouring every fragment of light that dares brush your skin. You crawl into corners of rooms, hiding behind whispers, shrinking your body until you're a ghost, slipping through walls, afraid to exist too loudly. Your voice becomes a cracked whisper, your eyes dart like prey, your dreams folded like fragile origami, hidden away so no one will see the storm raging inside. The lie slithers in, venomous and slick. I don't deserve this space. I'm a glitch in the system. But that lie is a parasite eating your soul raw, sucking out your fire while you nod and apologize for breathing. It's not just your body retreating. It's your entire essence folding like burnt paper in a world too bright, too loud, too brutal. You cage your thoughts, mute your emotions, dim your ambitions until your heart is a faint flicker, barely pulsing under layers of fear and self-betrayal. Space is a war zone, not just the floor beneath you. It's the wild, untamed battlefield where your soul fights to exist. Every time you fold smaller, you feed the ravenous beast of doubt, whispering, "You are nothing, you are invisible, you do not belong." And that beast, it devours you from the inside, hollows you out until you are a shadow haunted by silence. Marcus Aurelius told us to dwell on the beauty of life, watch the stars, and see yourself running with them. But how can you race the cosmos when you coil like a dead snake, buried under the dirt of your own self-loathing? How can you shine like a star when you shrink into a trembling flicker, afraid to burn too bright? You've locked your wild heart in a cage of false humility and fear, chains forged from every "stay quiet," every "take less," every "don't bother." This isn't just undervaluing yourself, it's a brutal erasure of your birthright, a soul's murder disguised as survival. Now imagine ripping open that cage, exploding outward like a supernova screaming across the galaxy. You stretch wide, lungs filled with stolen light, eyes blazing like 1,000 suns, voice shattering silence like a war cry. This is not just taking up space, it's owning every inch with savage grace, blazing a trail so fierce no one can blink and forget you're here. No apologies, no apologies, no apologies. Just raw, wild, unapologetic you, a living storm, a force of nature, impossible to silence. Burn this truth into your bones. You were never meant to crawl. You were born to roar and claim every goddamn inch of space you crave. Number 5. You constantly seek external validation because internal approval feels distant. You're hooked, straight up addicted, like a junkie chasing the next hit of likes, comments, shares. Your soul screams in silence while your thumb scrolls endlessly through a carousel of filtered faces and empty praises. You're begging for the world's nod like it's a lifesaver thrown to a drowning man, because deep inside, your own reflection looks back like a stranger, cold and unrecognizable. The approval you crave isn't just validation, it's survival. You've built a throne on a foundation of other people's opinions, and every like is a fleeting crowning moment before the rug pulls out beneath you. This hunger is a cancer eating you alive from the inside out. The Stoics called it centuries ago. Surrendering your peace to external storms is suicide for your spirit. Seneca didn't just whisper, he blasted it like a war horn. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. But you? You're shackled to the future's fickle applause, spinning in a cage forged by others' judgments. Your worth? A fragile puppet string in the hands of a crowd that can vanish in a heartbeat. Imagine walking on glass blades, barefoot, with every shard slicing into your fragile self-esteem. That's your life balanced on the razor's edge of external praise. Every ignored comment, a cut. Every overlooked like, a stab. The silence from the crowd feels like a guillotine falling, the final execution of your confidence. You're a ghost living inside a cage made of electric screens, haunted by a never-ending need to prove you're enough. But to whom? To people who barely know you, who can't see the war raging beneath your skin. You're building a castle out of smoke and mirrors, chasing shadows that dissolve the moment you reach for them. The ground beneath your feet is an earthquake zone, shaking violently with every judgment and opinion that crashes down. You're a house of cards in a hurricane, waiting to collapse under the weight of others' ever-shifting gazes. The chaos inside your mind is a storm with no calm, a wildfire with no end. But here's the savage truth. The fortress isn't out there in the noise or the empty echoes of likes. The fortress is a wildfire roaring inside you, untamed and unstoppable. Your own brutal, relentless approval. It's the blood pounding in your veins, the quiet rebellion against the world's need to control your worth. When you light that fire, no storm outside can touch you. The crowd's whispers turn into nothing but static beneath the thunder of your own voice. You're not just breaking chains, you're becoming a goddamn earthquake. A force that shatters the illusions and leaves only raw, unbreakable self-respect in the rubble. The moment you stop begging for crumbs and feast on your own savage approval, everything else, all that noise, all that chaos, crumbles to dust. You don't need their applause. You need your own roaring verdict. I am enough. I am the ground beneath my own feet. Number 6. You fear saying no, even when it costs you deeply. You swallow the word no like a bitter poison, choking it back so hard it scars your throat. You're bending, breaking, folding yourself into a fragile shadow just to dodge the storm of someone else's anger or disappointment. You stretch beyond your limits, juggling promises that crush your bones, hauling burdens that fracture your spirit, all because the thought of saying no feels like a detonator set to blow your entire world apart. But here's the savage secret. It's not the no that kills, it's the silence after swallowing it, the slow drip of self-erasure that drags you to the edge of your own existence. This fear is a silent assassin, slinking through the corridors of your mind, stealing respect like a ghost in the night. Respect from others? Vaporized. Respect from yourself? Shattered shards scattered across a battlefield of broken boundaries. Epictetus carved it clear, but your mind screams louder than reason. We suffer more often in imagination than reality. You've built a labyrinth of fear, a nightmarish echo chamber where the phantom screams of rejection and conflict slam the walls tighter around your chest. Saying no isn't the problem. It's the apocalyptic fear of it that swallowed your soul whole. Every forced yes you squeeze out is a dagger twisted deeper into your energy reserves. It's a slow, merciless bleed draining your focus, your peace, your primal fire. With each yes you didn't mean, you whisper a cruel lie into the void. My needs are secondary. I am less than. That lie grows roots, poisoning your sense of worth, rotting the core of who you are until you're nothing but a hollow echo of yourself. A shadow trading your own life for a stranger's fleeting comfort. Saying no isn't selfish. It's war. It's the fiercest declaration of self-respect in a world that devours weakness. It's a battle cry hurled from the ramparts of your soul, a thunderous shield raised against the relentless siege of demands. Without no, you are a fortress with crumbling walls, doors wide open to every toxin, every burden, every leech that wants to bleed you dry. You're a castle built on sand, waiting to collapse under the weight of your own concessions. Picture your boundaries as ironclad walls, forged in the hottest fires of your wrath and self-love, towering over the chaos, unbreakable, unmoved. A fortress roaring with defiance, echoing through the darkness, daring anyone to try and breach it. That fortress is you. It doesn't beg. It doesn't whimper. It doesn't negotiate. It roars, no, with a voice so fierce it shakes the foundations of anyone who dares to cross it. Start building that goddamn fortress now. Rip the fear from your chest. Burn the chains of obligation until only ashes remain. Let no be your battle hymn. Not a whisper, but a roaring hurricane tearing through the lies you've told yourself. Because if you don't guard your kingdom, you become the prey. And without your walls, you don't just fall, you vanish. Number 7. You minimize your achievements, like they're just luck or chance. You shrink from your victories like they're dirty secrets. You slap on the just luck, timing, or someone else's hand, like a mask to hide the scorching truth that you fought tooth and nail, spat blood and fire, and clawed your way out of the chaos to snatch those wins with your own raw fists. It's like watching a beast refuse to roar, a warrior who tightens his jaw and swallows his own glory, as if humility were some poison instead of the damn crown you earned. You rob yourself blind, stealing the thunder of your own roar because the truth burns too damn hot to face. The Stoics didn't whisper timid platitudes. They screamed steel and fire into the void. Marcus Aurelius didn't say, "Love fate and hide your scars." No, he demanded full-throated ownership of every brutal twist fate handed you. Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. So why the hell are you shrinking back from your own goddamn war stories? Why are you starving your spirit by denying the bloodied trophies your soul dragged from the fire? That denial is a massacre, a savage self-sabotage where your confidence bleeds out in slow, silent agony. Every time you throw your success under the bus, you're injecting your heart with a venom so potent it numbs the very pulse of your being. I don't deserve this. The lie curls its black fingers around your throat, choking hope, crushing pride, feeding a festering pit of doubt that gnaws at your bones. That luck, you claim. It's the thunderstorm hiding the hurricane you conjured. You didn't trip into victory. You stomped, raged, and ripped it from the jaws of the impossible, fueled by relentless fury. Visualize a monstrous tree, arms swollen with fruit so heavy they threaten to snap the branches. Yet the tree recoils, refusing to claim the harvest it birthed in fire and sweat. The fruit spills, feeding vultures and vultures alone, while the tree withers in silent torment, starving from its own refusal to accept its power. That's what you do to yourself when you erase your wins. A cosmic betrayal, where the giver withers while the world feasts on illusions. Claim your damn fruits. Shatter the silence with your victories. Burn every scar into the sky like a banner of conquest. Celebrate the war you fought in sleepless nights, shattered hopes and roaring defiance. Because if you don't hoist your flag high, no one else will. And without your roar, you're just a ghost wandering an empty battlefield. Number 8. You run from goals like they're demons because you've already let your fear write your fate. You clutch your dreams like fragile shards of glass, whispering them in hushed tones so no one, especially yourself, hears the savage hunger beneath. You don't plan, you don't aim, you don't set fire to the map of your future because you're shackled by a suffocating belief. Failure is inevitable, and the fall will crush you into nothingness. So you crawl instead. You settle for the grey sludge of safe, the lukewarm comfort of good enough, burying the explosive volcano of your potential beneath 1,000 layers of self-doubt and cowardice. You live in a cage made of silent screams, convincing yourself the bars are invisible, but they're there, iron, cold and unforgiving, forged by every whispered, "I can't," that echoes in your mind. Seneca ripped through lies like a gladiator. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. And here you are, squandering the thunderous storm of your existence, hiding in shadows, numbing the primal scream inside you. Every second spent dodging your own power is a brutal betrayal, a savage dismemberment of your soul's pulse. This isn't survival, it's slow suicide by silence, a monstrous act of self-obliteration wrapped in excuses. You're choking the fire that could raise the world, muting the hurricane that should be your heartbeat. Avoiding goals isn't armor, it's a prison, a toxic labyrinth of fear where your wildest parts rot in chains. You trap the beast inside, muzzle the lion's roar before it rips the sky apart. You're like a phoenix cowering in ashes, terrified to ignite because the flame might burn too bright, too fast, too real. You shrink the horizon, not because it's small, but because you built walls with trembling hands, bricks forged from your own paralyzing what-ifs and not good enoughs. The cage is self-made, but every link is a razor cutting deep into your spirit. Picture this: a giant bird, wings battered, claws clenched tight, perched on the edge of a cliff that spits out the abyss. The sky stretches wide, screaming for it to leap, to shatter gravity and soar like a god unleashed. But the bird is frozen, heart pounding with the thunder of 1,000 storms inside its chest. It's not the wings that fail. Those wings are forged from storms and lightning, built to rip through tempests. No, it's the mind, a twisted battlefield where shadows of doubt scream louder than the call of the wind. That bird, that's you, standing on the edge of everything you could be, crippled by the terror of flying. Here's the brutal truth nobody dares to spit. The storm inside you is your wings, your fear. It's the fuel screaming to be unleashed, the wildfire that will burn down your cage if you dare to ignite it. Stop kneeling before doubt. Rip down those invisible walls with claws sharp as rage. Tear the sky open with your roar. Because your wings are waiting. The abyss is calling. And if you don't jump, someone else will. Number 9. You are a slave to toxicity. Because somewhere you sold your worth for a cracked promise. You're trapped, tangled in poisonous webs disguised as relationships. They're not love, not friendship. They're venom dripping from smiles, betrayal wrapped in sweet lies. You're bleeding from invisible wounds, but you keep coming back, clutching the chains like they're lifelines. Why? Because the monster inside whispers a terrifying lie. You don't deserve better. That rotten seed grew deep, convincing you that pain is your shadow, that misery is your reflection, and that freedom is just a cruel joke whispered by people who never had to settle. So you tolerate the poison. You swallow the bitterness until it's so soaked into your bones, you forget what clean feels like. Epictetus hammered the truth into granite. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. But what the hell are you embodying when you let toxicity tattoo itself on your soul? When every cruel word, every dismissive glance, every cold shoulder is accepted like water from a cracked cup. A slow, silent drowning where you're gasping but refusing to swim. This is not endurance. It's surrender disguised as survival. It's a slow suicide where the killer wears your face. You are bleeding out while telling yourself the wound isn't deep, the poison isn't fatal, and the weeds will eventually bloom into flowers. Now picture this. Your life, once a fierce, wild garden, alive with thunder and fire, turned into a battlefield where weeds and thorns strangle every desperate bloom. They crawl like cancer, relentless and merciless, twisting roots around your dreams and choking out the light. Those weeds are the toxic words, the manipulations, the betrayals you let in because you thought you were worthless. The flowers, your soul's beauty, strangled, gasping, begging for air, but forced to hide beneath a suffocating forest of decay. You are not a wilted flower. You are a goddamn force of nature. It's time to uproot every poisonous vine with savage fury. Rip the weeds from your life until your garden burns bright again, fierce, untamed, unstoppable. Tear down the walls built on lies you've told yourself. Scream your worth into the void until it answers back with thunder. You deserve to burn hotter than the sun, to bloom wild and savage, to own a kingdom where no shadow dares to linger. This isn't just about surviving toxicity. It's about annihilating it and rising from the ashes like a damn inferno. Number 10. You starve the wildfire inside you. Because somewhere you bought the lie that you're not worth the fight. You stand frozen at the edge of your own damn universe, watching the explosion of your potential burn bright. And instead of diving in, you turn away. You skip the books that could set your mind ablaze, the lessons that could forge your spirit into a weapon, the brutal therapy that tears down, lies, and rebuilds you stronger. Why? Because a venomous parasite named not enough slithers in your brain, whispering that you're not ready, not worthy, like a crooked carnival barker selling snake oil, dreams of failure. This isn't caution. It's spiritual starvation, a slow suicide where you're the executioner stabbing your own back again and again, refusing to feed the one wild flame that could ignite everything inside you. Marcus Aurelius didn't just throw words at the wind when he said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." He dropped a goddamn bomb. Neglect your soul, and it rots, infected with toxic sludge made of doubt, decay, and regret. Your mind, once a roaring tempest, dims into a pale flicker lost in a void of apathy and fear. You rot from the inside like a forgotten corpse buried under piles of what-ifs and could-have-beens. All while the world moves, grows, and devours everything you once dreamed to become. Visualize a garden turned graveyard. The earth cracked and caked in dust so thick it suffocates every seed of hope. Flowers that once screamed color now hang limp, bleeding lifeless shadows, starving for the rain of effort that never comes. That barren wasteland is your soul, withering beneath the crushing weight of neglect, suffocated by the lies you swallowed whole. The fire inside you, the raw, brutal force meant to annihilate every limit, now struggles for breath, a fading ghost begging for a single spark. Here's the unfiltered truth. Investing in yourself isn't some soft luxury for the lucky or the gifted. It's a savage war cry, a brutal battle where every drop of sweat, every moment of pain, every furious heartbeat is a declaration that you're done dying on the inside. Tear into your own earth with reckless hunger. Rip apart the chains forged from fear and self-doubt. Grow wild and riotous, untamed like a wildfire roaring through a forest, unstoppable, unrelenting, consuming everything in your path until only power and glory remain. Your soul was never meant to cower. It was meant to explode. Undervaluing yourself isn't some limp defeat stamped on your forehead. It's a savage, relentless habit that claws at your mind like a rabid beast in the dead of night. But here's the brutal truth. Habits, no matter how deep their roots, can be ripped out, shredded, and incinerated in the wildfire of your own wrath. Stoicism doesn't whisper sweet lies. It throws a hammer down and shouts that the real war is in how you see your own reflection, how you grab life by the throat and refuse to let it choke you. Your power is a burning furnace inside you, untamed, violent, waiting to explode. This moment, right here, right now, is a detonator. The instant your eyes crack open and recognize these poisonous signs crawling under your skin, you don't just start a journey, you ignite a bloody revolution inside yourself. This isn't some soft awakening. It's a full-throttle, no-turning-back battle to reclaim the raw, savage worth that's been chained and buried under layers of lies and fear. You're not just breaking free, you're ripping apart the chains with teeth and claws. If this tsunami of truth shook something wild loose inside your bones, don't cage it. Smash that, like it owes you your life. Throw this message like a Molotov into someone else's stagnant world who's starving for this brutal honesty. Burn your defiance into the comments, your affirmations, your screams, your unbreakable promises to yourself, and subscribe to this ruthless truth that cuts deeper than any blade, louder than any scream. You are a force that was never meant to be tamed, a wildfire roaring through a world that tried to drown you in silence. You're worth every storm you've survived, every scar you wear like armor. Now stop waiting for permission, stop begging for permission, and start living like your damn life depends on it. Because it does. Today, not tomorrow, not someday. Right fucking now.